Welcome to our weekly energy forecast and meditation. Sabine.
I'm Juna.
And we're from Synergy in Motion, where it's all about empowering you to live true to you. And every week we bring you a morsel of wisdom, an invitation to contemplate for your next week and kind of send good energy into your next week. And this week?
Yeah, this week is an interesting energy theme. It's based on Hexagram 36, and it is the energy of crisis. And in human design, they call it the darkening of the light. And globally, we can see this everywhere, that we are in big change, big crisis, the planet, and, you can look at all of this stuff, and we are in this unknown space, and it's kind of like the light goes out. The light can grow dim when we're in a crisis situation. It doesn't mean that there is no light there. The Chinese talk about it. It's like the sun sinks deep into the earth. Another translation in the Chinese is brilliance injured. So this is when your light is injured. And in a time of crisis, we're talking like gut-wrenching, really hard crisis that you didn't see coming. Crisis is crisis. So it's full of emotion. It can be a great loss, a deep change, and often crisis it cracks us open in a way that we weren't expecting. We plan our lives to one degree or another, and we want it to go a certain way, and then something happens, like with our dear friends who lost their daughter in a car accident, or other people we know, they lost their job, and it's like, yeah, there's no light anymore. The light has gone out. The light has grown dim, and the brilliance has been injured. And what to do in that time is collect yourself, be there, nurture yourself, and it's the light is sort of meant to go out for a little bit so that you can collect yourself, and then when ready, really start connecting to that light within, whatever light you can find, and then open up again into proceeding forward. Mm-hmm. So that's the wisdom. And it doesn't mean that, your week is going to be full of crisis, but it does point to an interesting thing, which is it talks about change. So this is also very much about change and wanting to have like a new experience and wanting to go through the depths of something to progress and to bring change. So with it, there can be these emotions, and just watch the dance of yourself in regards to change. Do you embrace the change that crisis brings, or do you fear the change that the crisis brings? And when we can be open to it and keep really listening to our hearts, tuning in, we can move through crisis with grace. And there's something about crisis that when we go through something difficult, and we all do, like none of us can escape a crisis or suffering or the pain of being human on this planet. Things happen and we go through them. I forgot my point. And what it does is brings us into connection with humanity. Mm-hmm. It's when you go through suffering, you can understand and have compassion for someone else who has gone through a tragedy, even if it's not the same tragedy, but because you have gone through it. And it's about going through these changes and this crisis as much as you can with an open heart and an openness to really delve into the experience of it rather than trying to eject from your body, avoid it in one way or the other, but just to really be present with the hard times. Right?
And what I find really, really important is that there is no right way to go through change or crisis. That is a very, very individual journey. And yes, there are some things that we can point out. Maybe you do this, do that. But ultimately, it's your journey of cracking open. And sometimes it is a lifetime journey and not just a phase in a life. right? It's a very peculiar thing because crisis often is not necessarily just personal. There's some countries that have gone through crisis for a long time and they're cracking humanity open. And so it's a little difficult because we just want the Band-Aid to make it all better. But the change wants to happen. It wants to crack us open. Not always as individuals, also often as collectives, which we are seeing right now. The rate of homelessness is skyrocketing. And it's a crisis of our society, of our humankind. And to really not give up and just be present. Okay, what can I do right now? What do I need to tend to myself? And what can I contribute to my surroundings, the immediate surroundings and the global surroundings? And not making ourselves wrong, because this is a time of big, big change. We don't know what's happening tomorrow or what to do and not to do. So really being present and living as much as you can true to yourself is so crucial in these times of change and crisis.
Yeah, and when the light grows dim, I love the saying by Leonard Cohen in his song Anthem. There is a crack in everything, and that's how the light gets in. We're not meant to be perfect or strive for perfection. It's in those cracks, in those crevices, in the crisis times, in the times of change, where we grow and we progress. So this is the week ahead is very experiential, inviting you into experiencing the depth of what it is to be human, to embrace change, suffering, on a personal level, on a global level, and just as you said so beautifully, who can I be? What can I do? What can I offer? How can I be inside to be integral and true to myself? So yeah, it's kind of heavy, it's kind of big, but it's also delicious for growth and progress and change. If everything stayed the same and we're on an even keel, could we move into that change the way that we do when we move through crisis? So yeah, crisis, opportunity. Yeah.
Yes. Good ponderings. And again, really important. It doesn't mean that this week everything is going to fall apart. It's an energy that we're dealing with. And I believe when we look at the small changes in everyday life and we meet them head on and not avoid them, not shove them under the carpet, then the bigger changes do come with more ease because our system knows that we'll be okay with change. Yes, maybe the most dearest dynamic being in our life changes, moves away, whatever. And yet we know, hey, there is another day. The sun will rise again. This is life. It goes into the darkness and it comes out of the darkness. And that's the beauty of living. And I always say, this is not a spa planet. This is a Tough Mudder planet. This is hard to be on this planet, and emotions can be so intense. But the more we meet them with an open heart, with presence, with our presence as us, the somewhat easier it becomes, and the more grace can actually unfold in that scenario.
We can bring our compassion to ourselves as we go through crisis and bring compassion to others who are going through similar things.
And when crisis hits, when you see that, the humanity that comes out in people is so beautiful. Like the willingness to contribute to each other, whether that is a power outage in the whole city, people start cooking together and cleaning up freezers and having parties, or when somebody passes, of how the neighborhood steps together and helps the family out, of making meals, making sure they're okay. Really that tender, nurturing, caring. That's who we really are. And I sometimes wonder, what would it be like if we always dared to be this caring, this compassionate, this human?
Right. So, yes, let's meditate and bring that home.
Let's go and meet the crisis, meet change. But first, just get your body comfortable. Take that deep breath. And maybe just touch your heart, your energetic heart. And just connect with yourself, with your body in the present moment. And allow yourself to be held by the earth. And with each breath, coming home to yourself, to that space within you that is most you, that is safe for you. And really let yourself be held by that space, your sacred space. And allow yourself to also perceive how life holds you in your sacred space. All of life is there for you, supports you, even if it is in difficult ways. Just take that moment and relax into that as much as you can. And in that space, look back into the past, your life, all the things that you have gone through, the challenges that you have met, the changes, the crises that you have come out of. And feel your strength, how you have grown and become stronger. And really claim that strength of you. And from that space of strength, connected with your sacred space and your being, become aware of your present life, this moment. And look around. Look at those dynamics, situations, relationships, where you can perceive that change is in the making, where change is maybe ready to unfold or even overdue. And be present with that energy of life starting to crack the old open. You don't have to do anything about it. You're not responsible for it. Just be present. Just admit to yourself, oh, okay, there's some change that is unfolding. There's some change that's required here. And there are some areas where I really have avoided change, maybe. And be aware of how your mind might find or try to find solutions for those situations, tries to solve it, tries to hold on to the old, or tries to already calculate the future. And just give your mind a big smile. Thank you for being there. And then focus on your presence. And open up to the unknown, to this energy of change. That dims the light of the known, the world you have lived in, the world that we have lived in. Just to bring forth a different kind of light, a different kind of quality. And just be present with this rhythm of life. How we fall into the darkness and are lifted back into the light. And again, this is a knowing of your heart. It's an inner knowing. It's not a knowing of the mind. The mind does not have access to that knowing. Your body does. And together, standing together, let's expand our awareness and become aware of the changes unfolding on this planet. A crisis that is present. And the seeming darkness. And together, let's stand strong with our open hearts and just meet this dynamic. In the awareness that a new light will rise again. And in this energy, allow yourself to be cracked open. Bring forth that change. Be the change. And in that, feel also the strength of being connected with each other. No one has to do this alone. We're holding each other, supporting each other. standing strong together. And then come back to yourself, to your sacred space. And stand strong with yourself. Take a moment to love yourself. Cheer yourself on. Even if your mind doesn't know that you can do this, just know that you can. How? That's the adventure. And in this coming week, and maybe for the rest of your life, really be aware of your strength. Your strength move through the highs and the lows, to be present. And to come present again when you are unpresent. And really trust that. And as you're still alive on this planet, you did a good job so far, moving through crises, changes, challenges. It's not easy. That's not what it's about. And just really give yourself credit. Hey, well done. Thank you. And know that we're standing with each other. Even though your mind might not see that, but we do. And we're super grateful for your contribution in this crazy, wild adventure on this beautiful planet. Thank you for being you.
Thank you. Thank you for that meditation. Yes, and may it ripple out through your next week. And let us know in the comments or email, text us how this is for you. We always love hearing from you and look forward to seeing you again next week. So until then, bye for now.